Hello, this is Zeke777, and welcome back to Ars Nouveau. Today we find ourselves on top of a precarious tower here with our blood altar that we built in the last episode. So we've got our tier 4 stuff, and we are ready to get going. So this chest is empty. I'm holding everything. We've got ourselves quite a few reinforced slates, some blank slates, imbued slates, even made some demonic ones, just kind of off camera sitting here and whacking away at the target dummy here. It's really tedious. It's really boring. I want to not have to do that anymore. Today, we are going to do something, not with that dog. Sorry, that dog. Free hugs. Your dog is maybe not going to survive the episode. We'll see. So we've got right here, once we can catch ourselves, we have our pillager tower. Hello there. And it's going to go away. And we're going to have to build our own tower here. Now, I haven't decided on a design for this yet. I'm not really sure. It's going to be something red, something black, something evil looking, maybe. I don't know. It's going to be a skinny tower. And the idea is the only spawnable places for these pillagers to appear is going to be directly inside a warp portal to send them roughly right here. And that will be the center of a well of suffering. So all of you guys spawning down there, you will be added to our pool of things up here. So we're going to see how well that works with Well of Suffering, just going off of the natural spawns from this area. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, I don't know. We do have a few ideas for some backup passive power here. These little blue guys. If you walk up to one of them and you go bam, they will run away. They won't like that. But if I can sit still so I can look at you, it's already fully healed. So I'm thinking maybe it'll work again. Recurring theme here. We don't know if it's going to work or not. Let's find out. We're going to stick some of those guys in here as well and see if that'll give us some nice passive LP. Life points. Source will come later. Let's get a Well of Suffering up and running. So we're going to start off here with just building ourselves a platform. Our flight ritual is sort of at the edge of its limit over here, so I'm just going to build this as quickly as possible. Just going to kind of lay it out. This is going to be where the actual Well of Suffering effect is going to be. I've not done any real measurement on this. It's really just sort of, I did a real quick measurement to see how large a tier 5 altar is, and I think I have that. I might be off, I might be good, I'm not sure. We'll find out. Let's go ahead and finish. Come on. I could probably do this with magic. A spell would probably help on this. Either way, we've got ourselves the start of a little platform here. We're going to go along, just make it flat, and that will give us a base to be able to build on. The Well of Suffering is 36 runes, which 4 of which of those are Dusk runes. So this is a Ritual Diviner Dusk tier. Basically, you take your standard Ritual Diviner and add some Inscription Tool of Dusk, which is needing our tier 4 altar. So pretty simple. Block of coal goes in, tool comes out, turn it into next level of Ritual Diviner. Easy enough. That unlocks the next tier of rituals. So, in order to actually do anything, though, we still need to have lots of ritual stones. So let's put these in here. Slate can go in, obsidian can go in. We need our orb in the middle, and I need 40 of these. So I said 36, but you need 4 for the actual master ritual stone to begin with. So put that there. Let's pull up our orb again, because it keeps disappearing. Master ritual stone, and there we have it. This is, we're going to take you out because we're probably going to need you. Let me grab the activation crystal. Perfect. So let's head over here. My first test subjects. Perfect. We're going to put the Master Ritual Stone right. Actually, no, we're going to go over here first because I can't remember what it looks like. So let me grab my book. Sanguine Santium. Probably mispronouncing it. Don't care. We need rituals. Right here, you can look at our list of rituals, and we need the Well of Suffering. So this one here, can I rotate that? No. It looks like the Master Ritual Stone is 1 up from the bottom layer, so let's put that on top of a block first. So we'll put this right about there. Put the Master Ritual Stone on top of you, grab our Diviner. That looks fancy, perfect. Put you right there. Cool. So that's being built. While it's being built, let's go ahead and take out these blocks. And with that, if we go ahead and activate this, field push are too weak to perform this ritual. I think we need more blood, which is why we have our orb. Pop you in here, and while we're waiting for that to charge up, let's take a look. Attacks mobs within its damage zone and puts LP into a nearby blood altar. Pretty straightforward. Let's see. Can supply enough mobs. That's what the hope is. I think... So ritual can only link to one altar at a time. Horizontal radius of 10, vertical radius of 15. So I think we're fine. And let's see. All mobs will take damage every second. This does not include players. Max volume is the full range. Horizontal 15 by 15. Okay, cool. Or not 15 by 15, radius, right. Mobs will still drop non-player kill mob drops. So there'll be lots of crossbows, I believe. But that's fine. So let's charge you up a little bit more. I should probably grab a divination sigil. I think I have one somewhere. And let's open this up one more time. This needs 40,000 LP, so that's not too bad. Altar stores 10. So let's get this filled up. And maybe we have enough. Nope, field push, 2 weeks still. Don't have my flight. Where's my flight? I'm purposely not killing you guys. You should feel thankful here. Oh, it is working. Okay, perfect. Not getting a whole lot. Let's take you out for a second. 30, 60, 90. Interesting. Okay, you're a little too cheaty for me if you're just fully passive. In the meantime, we're going to put you back in there. And these guys down here are now no more pillagers. Oh darn, where'd you go? We're going to stand right here. I don't have a warp scroll yet. I will need to make one. In fact, I think I want a couple of them. So the max size of a warp portal is 23 by 23, which is probably about where this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's what, 17 by 17 for that platform. So basically it'd be similar size platforms to these. I think I'm just going to place a couple layers of that. Maybe like here or something. Something like that. So I'll have a couple different platforms there going down. The rest of the tower is going bye-bye. I already took out the looter chests and such. So those are no longer going to be an issue. I just need to tear down the rest of it and make everything else non-spawnable. So you down there, I don't want you to appear. Ideally, everything will appear directly in a warp portal, which we sent up to this layer here. I do know that they can still spawn up here, and that's fine. They should still be within the range. Yeah, because this guy here is in the range of the ritual. So it doesn't really matter if they spawn up here or not. They'll just kind of still take damage. Things that spawn down the warp portals will be sent into the main room right here. And I think that'll basically be it. I mean, we've already got automatic LP, right? I don't even have to do anything right now. It's just, as these guys spawn on that platform at least, they're immediately going to go into our altar. So that's basically done. End of the episode right here, right? That's how it works. Yeah, there we go, flight. Well, so far it's actually pretty successful. We've got ourselves a platform here, and the main platform with the actual ritual up there. I see you are not in this party. Come on, go away. Anyway, we've got 2 platforms here, and it's worth noting that it's actually taking damage here. Is that... Wait a minute. What are you? A Vindicator? Why is there a Vindicator? Interesting. I don't know why there's a Vindicator there. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting just the Pillagers. Vindicators are a different mob entirely and can occasionally drop emeralds, I think. That's weird. Either way, This platform here, I don't actually need to stick a warp portal on because it's already within range of the ritual up here. So it just exists. It's anything that spawns there or on this platform are just going to die already, which is actually pretty perfect because that means I can have two areas that I can work on setting up the warp portals for. So if I set a few portals up to here, that's fine. If I set more down to there later because I don't want to go into the room because there's lots of death going on, that's fine. I can set it there too. All that to say, I think this is going to work. If I scoot back a little bit, they will occasionally spawn there. Not overly often, but then again, I've got lots of other spawnable areas here, so once everything else gets kind of spawn-proofed with lighting everywhere else, then in theory, the only thing that can spawn is these guys here. So I'm happy with this so far. I'm going to go ahead and tear out the rest of the building and put a couple more platforms in. Well, we are making some progress here. If I open up my divination sigil here, we were around 40,000. We're now at 180,000. So it's making quite a lot of progress. We're going to go ahead and set 1, 2, 3, 4 warp scrolls. I think I only actually need 3 of these. But we'll see. That'll give me an extra in case I decide I want to expand later. But we have 3 platforms here that'll get warp scrolls, and I need to figure out what I want to do about the bottom part here. I think I'm going to build it up similar to the base of our main ziggurat there, similar style, and buttons or slabs or something to basically block off the spawns everywhere else. So I've built it up a bit. It's just solid dirt down there now. I don't want any spawnable areas. And of course, all around there, over here, I need to figure out the actual spawning range, but we'll do that later. Right now, I want to get these platforms to stop raining on me. So we're going to plop that right there. We're going to say, you can go right there. Thank you. And if you just mind standing right there for me, perfect. Thank you. Next up, you as well. I find that doing this in a corner works best, with a block directly underneath where the warp scroll is actually going to land. So similar down here, block there. Basically, it has to be there for a tick for it to recognize that there is going to be a warp scroll, and then it needs to form a portal. So let's go ahead and collect all of our jars here. So at this point, we should be getting quite a lot of things appearing up at the top. I think we're going to probably do a layer around it, and I also want to put some slabs directly on the portals to prevent those from being spawnable as well. But if I fly a little bit further away, we should start getting quite a lot of guys just randomly appearing up top here. And they're all in range. They are going to start pushing each other off the edge. That's fine. We'll deal with that. So let's put a couple around here, because I don't think these guys are going to be jumping too much. And we'll do proper blocks later. For now, I'm just using kind of this deep slate for just about everything up here. It works. It's a nice enough block that if I decide to never change it later, that's fine. I'm still going to put probably a kind of skin around this building. But at least for now, this will keep everyone up here. There we go. Which should prevent things from just randomly walking off the edge. So if we go back to our actual base area here, everything should be at least 24 blocks away, which means that these guys should happily be appearing there. And where were we? We were at 180,000, and so we were at 181, I guess, and now we're at 189. So not too bad. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it is basically fully passive. Just from my base itself, it's going to start filling up that top area there with a bunch of pillagers, which will be extracting their health into my orb. So not too bad. It's effective. It works. Sure, it's not as fast as like 50 witches, but I don't have to capture witches. It just works. Let's land back here. I can watch for a little bit. It's kind of nice to watch. Maybe I'll have that be open so I can actually see them suffering. That'd be a good idea. It is looking better and better by the moment here. This level right here, it's working. Cool. Everything else is getting teleported up to the top here. And I've gone and slabbed off everything. So I've got each of the portals has slabs around the edge of it, and I'm checking every so often to see if they can spawn elsewhere on the bottom platform there. I broke most of that off. It looks ugly. It's a square right now. I mean, it'll still be a square, but it'll be a fancy square later, not just a dirt square. But I think it's working. I'm not seeing them spawn anywhere outside of the range where they're supposed to, which means they're all ending up in there. Benefit of it also when it'll be enclosed is it'll serve as a dark room spawner. Maybe I'll stick an allay in a jar or something in there so it can actually pick up all the drops from that. But yeah, it's working. It's working. I'm actually going to kill this guy myself. Maybe he'll give me a backpack. Nope, no backpack. Oh well. Worth a shot. Yeah, it's working. We've got 276,000. So that is working exactly as planned. I still have a whole lot of building to do to actually make this look nice, but I think what we're going to do next is look at our armor. There's a couple rituals that we can use here, and now that we've got this guy up here fully automated, in fact, now that I think about it, let me grab some more stone here. Regular stone, please. 4 should be good. I have it right now set so that, sorry, it froze up there for a second. I have it set so that it will put everything into reinforced, which I think is going to work pretty well here. So that's empty, which is kind of expected. So basically it's going to be doing, I think, was it 10 per mob? So you can see it working its way up. It's not the fastest thing, but we will see if it is sufficient at least to power this. So when this is crafting, it's 1,000 per. The next level is, I think, 2,000, maybe 3,000. Not entirely sure. But it's going to have to craft up the blank slates first. So we'll let that go for a little bit, and I'll just keep monitoring this and see if this is net positive. Now, I should also point out, we only have 2 runes of sacrifice here. I think it's like 10% per thing, so maybe I'm getting 11 per like kill, or per hit rather. We'll see. But I'll probably bump that up to probably at least a full, probably that bottom ring there of all runes of sacrifice, and maybe I'll do like capacitor or something up here. But for now, I want to see if this is going to work. It's kind of working. I like it. It works. At least for tier 1 slates, it's working. So I'm going to let that sit, and I will come back to that in a little bit, and we'll see if that has been working or if it's just completely drained. It's probably going to be completely drained, but we'll at least see what it looks like. In the last episode, we set up this obsidian generator here, and it works. It's just very manual, and I don't like manual, so we're going to stop it being manual. So we're going to start off with an enchanted spell turret here, because this is going to get expensive. Since this is casting with an amplify, it's going to take quite a bit of source per cast. Let's go ahead and stick a source jar right there. Spell parchment with, it's called fortune chain. I should probably fix that. In fact, let me show you something real quick here. So if you have a blank parchment and you place it on your scribe table, you'll notice it says blank parchment. The thing is, there's 2 different sides to this. And it's kind of a bug at the moment, but we can work with it. So let's take this, we'll call it obsidian. Great. And if we shift right click it on this side of the table with the little feather scribe thingy, then you can right click it and get it out. If you did it on this other side, it doesn't always work. It's kind of a weird bug, but basically it only writes it on the one side but not the other. It's kind of weird. Like it even says up there in the top spell parchment still, there's nothing there, but it thinks there is. So it's kind of a weird thing with that, but on the side with the feather is what you need. So we'll take that, go over here, casting now obsidian, touch, break, amplify, pickup, and let's stick a storage thingy right behind it, right there. Cool. Comparator reading out of that, and we will do that into a block. Cool. So far, so good. Next up, we're going to grab a comparator on this side. And what this is going to do is, this comparator is going to read how many items are in the repository. Over here, this is going to be telling it how much we actually care about. So the way we're going to set that is kind of a fun thing. If you take a block, like so, and stick an item frame on it, the item frame is going to basically determine how much comparator power we have. So if we stick this right here, we are on signal strength power 1, it says there. If we right click it one more time, they'll shift it over to 2. All right, and this one here says, all right, well, I'm reading this inventory, but I'm not going to send out a signal until my signal is higher than what's coming in the side, in this case 2. So easy enough, we will then stick a torch right here. We have, that is casting, we have our source over here. I'm curious to see how much we're going to get out of this, because it is going to be an expensive spell, so we'll put a repeater right there. And now, yeah, it's working. It is going to start draining this, and it's going to just keep filling up this until we hit our signal strength of 2. It should also be worth noting that this is going to be constantly draining my LP, so let me check that real quick here. It's significant. I think it should be around 30-some thousand for a stack, and we are up to 2 stacks, 2.5 stacks. I'm actually curious what's going to go first, the level 2 comparator reading, my LP, or the source jar. And again, this is why we use the enchanted spell jar. Perfect. And it stopped right there at a little under 4 stacks. Perfect. That works for me. And if we were to go in here and just grab a stack out, it'll automatically start up again. Here, I can take that. It'll start going again. I'm just going to put that back in there. And yeah, very simple, quick little redstone circuit. Reading the inventory here, signal going into the side to tell it how much we care about. When that reaches the limit, redstone torch turns off the repeater, and everything stops. Not a bad little circuit. That did go through a little over half of a jar, which is actually less than I thought it'd be, to be honest, so I'll take it. Another thing we could have done with this, instead of doing the comparator reading the item frame over here, is we have a fancy block here called the display case. What we can do is you can set it to a storage. I think it's right-click that, so now it's detecting the items over there. And if we grab some obsidian out of here, we can tell it. So right now it is emitting if we have greater than 0, which means it should be emitting. Cool. If we right click this, it'll go by 1. Shift right click is not what I want to do. Let's go into our options here real quick. Controls, keybinds. I want carry on to be, let's do control. Okay, so now I would have to control right click to pick things up. Okay, let's update that. Okay, so now I should be able to shift right click to increase it by 8 each time. So if we do this until we say, well, turn 65, perfect. That turns it off. So we could do a similar thing here where, and I think we can also flip this around. So emit at less than 265. So basically, instead of having this whole circuit here, we would just have it basically sitting right here at emitting at less than whatever number we would like, which will then turn off the repeater, if that makes sense. So if we drop this down a little bit, so right now it is emitting at less than 193. I can't remember if I need this, which direction. Like I said, you can basically invert it around so that it'll have a signal on or off. Right now we would want the signal to be off, so I suppose emitting the signal when we have less than the amount we want. Yeah, so then if our inventory were to drop below that number, then it'll turn it back on. So kind of similar to what we're doing right here. It's just, this is vanilla redstone, this is fancy dancy display case. But this would definitely make it more compact, because I think we could just put this block directly next to the repeater. So it'd be like block right here, and then repeater will just read straight out of it. You still want the repeater because you do want to hard power this. And with the redstone dust, it may or may not directly power into it because you need it to be directed into it. Redstone won't hard power it. So I think soft powering actually will work. But either way, this circuit right here, very simple. 2 comparators, 1 repeater, 1 torch, and 1 redstone dust gets you a decent little inventory reader. And speaking of LP that we're draining, Master Orb here, I want to put it into this automatically. So a quick way that I can set that up is take our standard filter that's sending stuff into the altar. Right now it's just saying stone. If we say also take my blood orb, works easy enough, put you in here, and now what we can do, do I have any stone on me? I don't think I do. If we had stone, then I could say, you know, I'll steal some from over here. This no longer has slow touch. I can't do that spell. You, and then pick up. So, pretend we had 2 stone on us. Put that in, put the orb at the end. What'll happen is this, in fact, we're just gonna do 1 stone. What'll happen is once this guy is done being turned into, in this case, reinforced slates. Nope. Once you're done, without accidentally right clicking, it gets pulled out, and then the blood orb goes in automatically. My plan, and I'd like to come up with a circuit to do this, is be able to just hold the orb in a different inventory, and then anytime I get below some certain percentage, it'll throw it in. Now you can do that, you can read the LP level from like your divination sigil thing here. You can read that by a comparator reading out of the blood altar. In fact, I got rid of my comparators. Let me go show that real quick, because that is a pretty useful thing. Comparator. So we could do something where, like, when signal gets low, then it turns on an extra blood node here. That is an option. Right now it should be a pretty low level. But I think if I were to throw a weak orb, it should be a higher level. Yeah, so weak orb, it's a lower percentage, so it is actually emitting a signal of 1 or 2 now. So we could use this to say if we had a separate altar with this weak blood orb in it, then when it starts sending a lower signal than, say, 3, then it'll automatically pull our master blood orb in. So that is something we could do. For right now, I'm just going to throw it in here and let it fill up that way. I did decide to go ahead and put a portal on this top platform here. So I've got 4 portals now. This one was within range, but the problem was, I've been watching the TPS, the ticks per second, so Forge TPS. I've been watching just kind of how the server has been handling doing this, because it's been doing lots of spawns and then they're walking around. So basically I wanted them all to get teleported up here, and I actually have a little box here now, which has vines in it. So the vines basically disable the entity collision. So basically it makes it so that A, they won't take suffocation damage, because I don't want to waste their health. I want it to go up here. The other thing is that when it disables the collision, it disables the math and checking for if there's a collision. Whereas before, if they were all wandering around, the server was having to process that they were bumping into each other, that they were pushing each other off of these rune stones, all that fun stuff. So by having everything just teleport into that box, except for that top platform, which I may actually make spawn proof or remove entirely, basically everything's going to go in there, and it'll be a little bit easier on the server. So I've been watching this here. Did you stop taking damage? No, it is. Okay. It's science, really. Just science. Then I threw a bunch of sacrifice runes around here to speed it up a little bit, and it's working. It's not the fastest thing in the world. We're up to almost 500,000 LP, which is half of a meteor, I suppose, if we were to do a falling tower ritual, but it helps. So just the difference there between when I first clicked it and a second click there, we already gained, 4,500 LP. So not a bad thing. I think this thing does still consume LP faster than that can produce. That's fine. It's not meant to run full time. So it's okay if we have things that have a higher consumption. So the next thing I want to work on is, Demon Will. So right now we have our common Tartaric gem and our greater Tartaric gem that contain raw will. Well, there's more than one type, flavor, effect. Not entirely sure how you'd want to call that. Do I have any runes in here? not runes, ritual stones. No, I don't. Okay. So basically, there's different types of this, and the different types do different things. I'm looking for an orb. I know my orb's over there in the altar. They do different things, and so basically, you want to have more than just the raw will. Raw will is good for just like damage and such, but it's not the best. So if you want even more damage out of your sentient sword and such, sentient harm, you would need to use destructive will. That's one thing. There's also corrosive, vengeful, and steadfast, I think. Yeah, that's 4. And basically, if I look up those, will, just different colors. For the most part, they, on their own, it kind of does the same thing. I can have a blue tartaric gem here and go kill things and it'll fill it up. So that'll be useful with the Hoglin farm we have over there. But at the moment, what I'm wanting this for is for augmenting rituals. So basically what you can do is certain rituals will have different effects depending on kind of how you're using them and how the different wills that you're using. So the first thing we need to do, however, is get those wills. So in order to do that, we're going to go ahead and grab our ritual diviner, and I need to actually remember which ritual this is. It is, if I go to the rituals tab, list of rituals, we are looking for, there's 3 here that matter. Resonance of the Faceted Crystal. There's, where are the others? Resonance of the Faceted Crystal is the one we want right now. It splits the will into the other types. So that's the first one that we need to be able to do anything. We will also need Crack of the Fractured Crystal, which will basically enable us to automate harvesting these. We'll get to that in a moment, but we need to actually get some different wills first. So let's go ahead, make a Master Stone. Thank you. We'll take you with us. And I've got my activation crystal right here. Perfect. Now, locations. That is a thing. We've got this lovely start of a tower, first floor of a tower, so it's not really a tower yet. We've got a few other areas around, and I don't know where I want this. Now, the good news is this is a temporary ritual. We'll get rid of it when we're done anyway, just because once it's started, I don't really need to care about it anymore. If I go to, not F3B, haven't seen those before. I want F3G. That gets me the chunk borders, which I did not bother lining anything up with, but for now I am going to actually care about that. Let's go ahead and bump this up a couple blocks. I think this will be floating at this point, but that's fine. And I said I wanted the, let's see, not crack of the crystal, I want, where are you? Resonance of the Faceted Crystal. There we go. Right click that. And once that's done, we have ourselves a lovely ritual. So we're going to go ahead and start it. Rush of energy flows through the crystal. Now, the next thing is I need to figure out what we actually do to make this work. I can't remember if it requires... That's the wrong one. Resonance. There we go. Well-grown rock crystal cluster into separately aspected. So let's see. I don't think we need the crystallizer on top. I think we can just place it. Located 2 blocks above. Okay, so we don't need it, but it'll help. Okay, sure. Why not? Let's hop down here and grab that. Hello there. We're going to grab you, and you, and you. I think we did just waste that shard that was on there. That's fine. I'm not too concerned about it. The demon will not be a problem once we have everything running. So, crucible, crystallizer. Crystallizer goes right there. Crucible, the reason why I wanted the chunk borders, because this needs to take place in the same chunk. So, we will put that right there. Pop you on the side here. And you know what? We're going to toss in... We'll toss in our common gem, because it'll take a while to... Really had to hit Q. Right-click it. We're going to put the common in because it'll take a while to actually absorb into the aura. In fact, I made a quick demon will aura gauge. Doesn't need to be in our hand, just in our inventory. In the upper corner there, you can see we have that little blue bar. I think if I press shift, it'll show me the numbers. The maximum will in a chunk is 100. So basically we're not able to do much of anything until this actually grows. So I'll be waiting for a bit. Well, we have step 1. Step 1 is the raw crystal cluster has now grown. Here. But that's it. So it's going to take a bit longer still because it has to absorb more will from the gem, and then it'll start growing this. Now, I think there's a way to speed this up. I want to say it's called a catalyst, maybe? Combinational catalyst? No, that's for the crystals, or for the potions. So I'm not entirely sure. There's a thing we can apply to this to help speed it up, but it does require crafting it continuously because we would need to basically automate to do it. So basically, I'm just going to sit here and wait. It'll start growing. Once it has more than one shard on it, then it'll eventually split off and form on each of these different aspected shards with basically the different colors. So again, will. And it's just kind of themed off of the colors here. So we've got the air ritual stone is going to be the demon. Not demon. Destructive. Yes. So destructive, vengeful, steadfast, and corrosive. So it'll split those off, and we will be able to actually start working with these now as their own different types, which will be pretty cool. Alright, I lied. I did make some catalyst. Raw will catalyst is these guys here. There's a catalyst for each of them. It says accelerates the growth of will. So if I right click you, what that is supposed to do is basically speed up the time it takes, as well as require less aura or less will in the aura to actually make the crystals. Now, I don't know if this lasts like a certain amount of time or if it's kind of a 1 per crystal thing. I suppose I could look that up. Take our book. We would like to look at, let's see, we want demon will manipulation, and will catalyst. Let's see, we've got the thing. As long as we have 4 of the same kind of crystal, we have those ready. The crystal clusters, cool. May automate that with the crack of the fractured ritual. Let's see. Alright, so I read through here. Basically, it's good for 10 growths. So it speeds up. It requires much less will to actually make a crystal. Normally, what you can do is you can take these crystals here and burn them in the crucible. And basically, you will get a slight profit. It like burns for like 50 or something, and you get like 60 back. There we go, you just saw it. Once it had 4 of the crystals, it was then able to split into these side ones, which is perfect. Now, we can't just break these and pick them up. As I saw earlier, when we broke the crystallizer, we just got a demon will crystal, so that would require us to go through 4 of these. What I can do, though, is I can just leave this here, and it's going to keep growing this. And remember, this was good for 10 growths anyway, so you'll get 10, which is, what, 2.5 per or something. So that'll work out. It'll get us a couple more of these side crystals that once they are grown, we can just right-click to harvest them. I have a whole bunch of the demon will crystals already, so I'm not too concerned about those, but I do want the different flavors of it. So more waiting, but hopefully a little bit less waiting. Like I said, it'll be kind of burning it a little bit more efficiently with using the oil. So it's took me a little bit of a wait here, but I think definitely better. And next up, I want to automate actually making more of these guys, but we'll see if I have enough materials for that. I've crafted up 4 more of the blank petty tartaric gems, so they don't have any will in them yet. And what I want to do is I'm going to take one of each of these, and you can just right click as long as you have, I think it's 1,000 or so will on you. You can just right click to harvest these. So we'll just collect those, and we're going to go ahead and grab this. I've got way too much stuff on me. You don't need to be, I do want you actually. You don't need to be here. You don't need to be here. And I have a Hellfire Forge. Perfect. Okay. We're going to grab this real quick, and we're going to walk over here to a different chunk. So you'll notice that this does not share between chunks. If I walk over here, we have 92 of the raw will, 90 now. Over here, though, we don't have anything, which is perfect. That's what I want. So we're going to place down our Demon Crucible right there, and our Hellfire Forge. So if I place this here as well, F3G to see chunk borders. Right now, we've got nothing in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to burn that will, which gives us 50 in the aura. And now if I place here, you in here, it will then charge it up with that. There we go, 50, cool. And similarly with these others, we're going to go ahead and turn them into gems as well. There we go. What this is going to do is it's going to make it easier for us to actually go through and, because I can fill these up pretty quickly using the Hoglin farm. So this can be a little bit quicker than doing it through the crystal method, which is burning a crystal, having it grow another crystal, taking that crystal, burning it again, and just repeating that cycle, which we will get around to doing that. But at the moment, I want to go ahead and fill these up to get quite a bit, probably up to a common level, probably not a greater level, just because that does require more other materials like imbued slates and such, or other way around. It needs the weak blood shards, which I don't have in a very good system yet. But that gets us a Pillager Dark Gem of each of them. I'm going to go ahead and fill those up real quick. And that, I think, is what we're going to call it for an episode. We got quite a bit done. Doesn't always seem like, because there wasn't really much visual here, but we do have renewable LP. So that's fully automatic. It's just working passively just by me being here. Not as fast as if I were to use, say, witches or something, but it is a lot better on the server. We had one guy who had a bunch of witches under his, and it basically slowed the server to a crawl every time he logged in. So this works. It fills up. So I'm going to call us here, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.